Hey everyone, welcome to another one of my YouTube painting process videos. This time around I'll be working on Byleth from Fire Emblem Three Houses, or Smash Brothers if you're into that as well. Painting something like her has got me thinking about certain reasons why I choose certain subject matter. You would have noticed that I draw a lot of girls and characters in general, but mostly a lot of anime style type of designs. And it really makes me wonder why certain artists gravitate towards certain subject matter and not others. So I'd like to take the chance here to ramble a little bit about that. I want to quote one of Jordan Peterson's phrases. If you're not too familiar, he is considered a controversial figure from my native Canada here, but in general, his philosophies and psychology of work can be very helpful regardless of what you think of his political stances. Anyways, going back to one of something he said, one of his 12 rules of life is to not let your children do anything that makes you dislike them. Now, when I first read about it, I took it very literally, and I was thinking, well, I don't really have kids, so why would I care? But it really got me thinking about what I am doing as an artist as well. I began to think of it as, what if my art is my children? Then it starts to kind of click in my head that people choose their own preferences when it comes to their art. And when it comes down to it, art is supposed to be fun, even if it's a job. And a lot of times you really don't want to draw something that will make you hate art. And trust me when I say this, I've gone through a lot of work, a lot of client work, and it takes a while to really understand what art you really dislike and what art you really like. It might sound like it's something that should be pretty obvious, but it's actually not. You could like something, but you can also dislike drawing that something. And perhaps you won't even find out until you try it out for maybe like tens or hundreds of times. If I were to reference my own career, I first began to think that I was going to be an environment artist, and I honestly have done professional work in that realm. But over time, it just felt like it was harder and harder to like doing it until I just straight on said I really dislike doing environment art. Could it be just me getting bored of it? Perhaps, but I felt like as I was growing up and I was getting more experience that certain things will change, your preferences will change, and you have to be able to recognize when that change is happening and adjust and adapt accordingly. There was a realistic time where I just didn't want to do my professional work because of the subject matter at hand. Same goes for certain things like drawing space marines and that sort of thing. It may have been very cool to me when I was younger, but there's a difference when you're actually drawing that sort of thing as a career. And again, if you are metaphorically letting your children do something that will make you dislike them, then it's gonna be really not a long-term prospect. So just replace the idea of children and just think of it in terms of art. If clients are making you do certain things, which is making you lose your love for art, then perhaps you need to consider choosing a different path. If you don't, then you're going to fall deeper and deeper into a hole that you don't like, and eventually it'll come out in a variety of different ways. I've seen artists who just look miserable because they are just in a field that they're just not into at all, and it just becomes kind of mind-numbing, and again, it just makes art so much harder to create. And ultimately, art is best done by someone who is loving it and really passionate in it. Now, just as a heads up, that's not to say that if Elon Musk told me to design Space Marines or environment art that I wouldn't do it if he was giving me a lot of money. But you need to find that balance. If the money is really worth it, then perhaps it is better to just take the offer. But if the money isn't there, if there's no other incentive, then why are you doing something that will make you hate art? Making you hate your own children. So that's all I have to say about this sort of thing. I understand that in a career, you're most likely going to find a mixture of doing stuff that is really cool for you and stuff that you're just have zero passion in. But eventually you'll get to the point where you can be more selective with which gigs you take. I understand when you're starting out because I've gone through that as well. You just want to take every offer because money is money. But eventually it just becomes really boring and you really don't want to do something that will just make it worse for yourself. Hopefully you enjoyed that talk. I'll let the video keep going. This was a really cool piece and came out way better than I thought. A really random tidbit, I don't really think too highly about Byleth's design in Fire Emblem. I like the 3 leaders a lot better, which is why you might have seen me draw Edelgard a lot more often than not. So it was surprising to me that I managed to make Byleth work for me here. Anyways, thank you for watching and I'll see you next time.